Hello and welcome to the second installment of Let's Question. I am into the item name for this session. I think I will be referring to myself as a rock. Why? Because there is a lot of rocks in this title screen. So, for this game is going to be Dear Esther. Why is it going to be Dear Esther? Why Let's Question? Why not Let's Love? Let's Hate? Well, to be honest, I felt that it doesn't really fit into Let's Love for my own personal reasons. And it doesn't fit into Let's Hate because graphically, it's wonderful. It's a well-made game and it doesn't really make you rage because it's not supposed to make you rage. In fact, it's specifically designed that you're not really supposed to rage. You're supposed to enjoy the scenery and all that good stuff. So, it doesn't really fit into my Let's Hate either. Why it doesn't fit into Let's Love, like I said, it's for own personal reasons, but well, I also haven't really played this game before, ever. This game, I believe, started out as a mod for Half-Life 2, and now I believe the developers, the Chinese room, got a hand of a modified version of the source engine, I think it is, and then decided to make a full game out of it. So this is the product. So let's start with the options screen. Audio. Pretty typical 2 speakers. I actually have 5.1. I don't know why I didn't change that yet. Full captions because, you know, you might want to be able to wonder what the hell is going on. And sort of like, quite frankly. Done. Video. Now this is kind of where it gets weird. Now, everything here is okay. Laptop power savings. I don't have a laptop, but if you are using a laptop, then you could change this around. I'm pretty sure that saves your battery in case you're taking it with you portably or something like that. Detail foliage, you know, all that. But draw distance, I get this is like 100% or 0%. And this is like optimal level. But field of view, this is what I don't get. There is no number here. It's just a slider. What field of view is it? Is this supposed to be 90 or what is the maximum field of view? Advanced video. I actually didn't take a look at the advanced video yet, so there you go. It actually goes into MSAA, QCSAA. So I'm gonna put it on that because why not? And anisotropic 16x. Vertical sync, disable because I personally hate vertical sync. Multi-core rendering enabled and all this good stuff. Apply, and there we go. I'm just going to go ahead and restart the video just in case Bandcam decides to start lagging the video. Like it always does whenever some odd thing happens. So yeah, alright, we're back. That's just to make sure that Bandcam doesn't lag the video. So let's see, keyboard, mouse. And keys, so yes, fully rebindable keys, except for these. You can only oh wait, yes, you can rebind these. Never mind, don't listen to me, you can rebind all of these keys. There's not a lot to do, just the movement, swim up, so you will be doing some swimming, zoom in, so there is no like pick up object or something like that. Developer console, I'm not sure what you would want from that. Mouse acceleration, disable that. Windows mouse speed, disable that. Mouse sensitivity, I'm going to drag that up a bit. First mouse, no, I don't want my mouse reversed. I'm sorry, no. Controller, I'm guessing that's if you have a gamepad, then you can use that if you want to. And now to actually start the game. It looks like there's 4 chapters in it. Lighthouse, the buoy, caves, and the beacon. So, of course, we're going to be starting from the beginning because, like I said, I have not played this game ever before. Let's go ahead and get into it and see what about Dear Esther makes it so relaxing to make it not into Let's Hate, and why it doesn't belong in Let's Love either. Play this chapter? Yes, please.
Dear Esther. The morning after I was washed ashore, salt in my ears, sand in my mouth, and the waves always at my ankles, I felt as though everything had conspired to this one last shipwreck. I remembered nothing but water, stones in my belly and my shoes, threatening to drag me under to where only the most listless of creatures swim.
Alright. So that's the beginning of Dear Esther for you. It has no cutscene, which is surprising to say the least. So yeah, it does look like it's a modified version of the Source engine. It definitely looks a lot like the Source engine, but it's slightly modified. Anyway, you might have noticed that I cut out the loading screen. Why did I do that? Because it's pretty much why I pretty much paused the video and then resumed it after I applied those settings, because the thing about Bandicam is that when you're on a static loading screen, like a loading screen that does nothing, just loads the game, then it tends to make the game lag out. So I will cut out every loading screen that I encounter. It'll make the editing process a little bit longer, but it'll be worth it. So let's see. Your flashlight automatically turns on, and what is this? Looks like some chemistry formula or something. Is this starch? Is this some sort of... looks like some sort of starch molecule. Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, hydrogen, hydrogen. Yeah, it seems to be some sort of starch or something like that. I'm not too bright on my chemistry. And why did I crash? Oh, I guess I got startled by the pigeon. Why was a pigeon in... Oh my god, no. I don't want to look at that. That's big. Why was a pigeon in there in the first place? Here. Wait a minute. I think this was the paint used to make that wall painting. Alright. There is no sprint. And there is no jump. However, it is a zoom and moving. So I'm just gonna go up here. Why? I don't really know. I'm just going up here because why not? Anyway. Now let's see here. The graphics there's people paint. Guess somebody really liked painting. Yeah, the graphics are actually pretty good. I mean, it's a Source engine, which means it was pretty much Half-Life 2 based, but even then, it still looks pretty good. I mean, I'm not saying that Half-Life 2 looks terrible, but, you know, Half-Life 2 was made in 2004, I think? I think 2004. And it still looks pretty good. I mean, but with Dear Esther, I still think this is a modified Source engine. But with Dear Esther, it really looks like the Source engine still makes really good looking games. Seaweed. There is no crouch, so I can't take a close look at the seaweed. But you know, it's the little things. It's really the little things that make a game look pretty or not. Yeah, I could definitely see how this game would be relaxing.
There was once talk of a wind farm out here, away from the rage and the intolerance of the masses. The sea, they said, is too rough for the turbines to stand. They clearly never came here to experience the becalming for themselves. Personally, I would have supported it. Turbines would be a fitting contemporary refuge for a hermit. The revolution and the permanence.
So yeah, this game is entirely story-driven. There is no combat of any sort. There are a bunch of clues so you can understand the story better. Like, what is this? What is this? I don't know what this is really. Is this some sort of religious figure of some sort? I'm not really up to standards with my religion. I think it might be some sort of religious figure, but could be wrong. It might be a recurring symbol in this game. I don't know. But yeah, I could definitely see why people would say
Dear
that
Esther,
this is sort of relaxing.
I found myself to be as featureless as this ocean, as shallow and unoccupied as this bay, a listless wreck without identification. My rocks are these bones, and a careful fence to keep the precipice at bay. Shot through me caves, my forehead a mount. This area will transmit into me so. All overexposed, the nervous system, where Donnelly's boots and yours and mine still will trample. I will carry a torch for you. I will leave it at the foot of my headstone. You will need it for the tunnels that carry me under.
Huh. So, am I playing as Esther? It looks like it's definitely a drawing of some sort. I don't know what it says. It looks like that's like EN or backwards for northeast. I'd say it's something like northeast. And why is there parts of a car here? Like, why are there car wheels here? Did a car crash happen here? It seems like the most logical way to put it. So, I guess we're not really supposed to be here, but I don't know. Alright, so let's go back to those stairs. Seems like the most logical thing to do. Probably should have went up there in the first place, but you know, why not explore the beach? But yeah, I still can't get over on how nice this game looks. And I'm still surprised that a almost 9-year-old engine still makes game look pretty damn good. I guess that's just what happens when you make a very good and highly moddable engine. I'm definitely wondering how the Source 2 engine will turn out. Hopefully it won't turn out too horribly, but you know, with enough time and determination from Valve, which we all know how Valve works when it comes to time. Oh boy. We all know how Valve works with time. Not very good. But they still produce quality content. Except for Team Fortress 2. Now, I'm probably going to get some flack for this, but me personally, Team Fortress 2 was okay at the start. But when it became free to play and everybody was just
the mount is clearly the focal point of this landscape. It almost appears so well placed as to be artificial. I find myself easily slipping into the delusional state of ascribing purpose, deliberate motive to everything here. Was this island formed during the moment of impact, when we were torn loose from our moorings and the seatbelts cut motorway lanes into our chests and shoulders? Did it first break surface then?
So it definitely sounds like the narrator is talking about a car crash of some sort. It definitely sounds something like that, but
When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boat, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this, to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
well then. Yeah, the narration is actually pretty good. I mean, like, it sounds like he's kind of talking in riddles about what happened, but that's really how a story should be. It should tell you everything from the get-go. It should keep you pondering about what's really going to happen. So it looks like we have two options of where to go. I decided to take this option because why not? You know, take the scenic route.
They were God-fearing people as shepherds. There was no love in the relationship. Donnelly tells me that they had one Bible that was passed around in strict rotation. It was stolen by a visiting monk in 1776, 2 years before the island was abandoned altogether. In the interim, I wonder, did they assign chapter and verse to the stones and grasses, marking the geography with a superimposed significance that they could actually walk the Bible and inhabit its contradiction?
Indeed, I suppose. So let's see, what else is there for this? I'm supposing that there's not really much puzzle to it, just really multiple story elements to it. But you know, every now and again we just need a game that just tells a story. Like, take another game, for example, Thomas Was Alone. Thomas
Dear
Was
Esther,
Alone...
I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
So, I'm guessing what he's meant by that is that someone pretty much went insane. Like all normal people do. So that's a cave. I think that's going to be the entrance to chapter 2 then. So yeah, like I was saying, Thomas Was Alone is pretty much story driven, but still had some gameplay elements to it. It was like a puzzle game in some sort of sense, but it didn't have groundbreaking graphics. All I had was basically squares and some water effects, but that's about it. All it pretty much was squares and rectangles. That's about
I
it.
would leave you presents outside your retreat in this interim space between cliff and beach. I would leave you loaves and fishes, but the fish stocks have been depleted and I've run out of bread. I would row you back to your homeland in a bottomless boat, but I fear we would both be driven mad by the chatter of the sea creatures.
This is actually pretty nice looking. This is actually pretty neat. And there's that chemistry formula again. What is that formula? What is it though? I have it on the back of my mind, but I don't remember what it is. Oh, hello. What is this? Clothes? Someone's having nighttime here. Fish. And moldy bread. And paint. You disgust me. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to add a little humor to it. So let's see. If you actually want to play this game for yourself, I believe it's at the price point for $5 on Steam. At least I think it's $5. I haven't really checked the price point for it because I received it as part of the Indie Super Mega Pack during the Steam holiday sale. So I don't really know what the price point for this game is. I'll put it in the description how much it costs and a link to the game itself. But I would say this, if you're looking for a story-driven game that, well, pretty much a game that's entirely backed by its story and beautiful scenery, then Dear Esther is really a game for you. Because from what I see right now, there is no action, and I'm not expecting any action from a game like this. And there doesn't seem to be any puzzling to it.
I dreamt I stood in the center of the sun, and the solar radiation cooked my heart from the inside. My teeth will curl, and my fingernails fall off into my pockets like loose change. If I could stomach, I'd eat, but all I seem capable of is salt water. Were the livestock still here, I could turn feral and gorge. I'm as emaciated as a body on a slab, opened up for a premature source of death. I've rowed to this island in a heart without a bottom, all the bacteria of my gut rising up to sing to me.
Alright, I was just gonna say this right now. I am a sucker for orchestral game music. And right now, this is it. This is orchestral game soundtrack at its finest right now. The soundtrack right now, it's just great. I love the soundtrack to this game. Like I said, I'm still putting this in Let's Question because I haven't played this game before, but Now I'm really feeling like it belongs in Let's Love because of how great it looks. It's amazing soundtrack and it's purely story-driven stasis a part of it. Like the narrator. Okay, the narrator I'm going to assume is a scientist because he's speaking scientific terms. But I don't know, I guess he's sending letters out to Esther, or maybe we're playing as Esther? I don't know. You would have to play the game for yourself to figure it out. I'm not going to play the entire game. I'm just going to play this one chapter. That's about it. But yeah, this game contains 4 chapters of pretty much beautiful scenery, great storytelling, great soundtrack. And I guess we've just reached chapter 2. So, let's see. As for the Let's Question part of it, I still feel like it's in Let's Question because I haven't
Dear
really
Esther, I
experienced
have
the
now
whole
driven
thing
the
for
stretch of the
myself,
M5
but
between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services. But although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
yeah, like I was saying, I would put this in Let's Love, but I haven't really experienced the whole game for myself, but that's really the whole point of the game to me right now, is that you can't really play it once and then play it again and then give your thoughts about it. You really just have to play it for yourself and just experience the whole game for yourself, because that's where the beauty of this game lies. When you play this game and find out all its mysteries for yourself, then that's really where it shines. If you watch someone else play it and they're talking about some stuff while the storytelling is going on and you're just watching them play the game, it's... I don't know how to explain it really. It's... I don't know. I'm going to put another game as an example. Journey. For the PlayStation 3. Journey, it's a great game. It doesn't use any form of dialogue whatsoever for its story. There was no combat, but all that it really needed was great visuals, and a great story, and huge amounts of symbolism. Like, you pretty much have to figure out the story on your own. And the beautiful scenery, and yeah, that's what made the game so great, and you just had to play it for yourself to be able to enjoy that experience. If you watch someone else play it, then you're not going to get the full experience. You're just going to get a taste of what they thought was the experience, but I don't know. I don't know how to put it, really. I don't know. I would put Dear Esther as a journey type game where you really have to play it for yourself so you could get an idea of what this game is like for you. I mean, like, for some people, Dear Esther is a terrible game. Terrible, and you know, that's their decision. They could say it's a terrible game. But other people say it's a really fantastic game, and I'm one of those people right now. I'm saying that this is actually a pretty fantastic game. I'm a sucker for games that have huge amounts of story in it. And when a game decides to take storytelling to the next level and decide to just take out everything you know about a game, everything you thought you knew about a game, throw it out the window and just make it purely story-driven, that's really what gets me. I get really hooked into it. It's sort of like you're in an interactive book of sorts. I don't know. I guess that's what you could say it is, like an interactive book, really. Like, you could say that's what Journey is. I mean, like, it pretty much is an interactive book, but there's no words spoken, it's just visually. And, yeah, I think I should just stop here. So yeah, let's question Dear Esther. I would put this in Let's Love, but y'all know my reasons why I didn't. Do I hate it? No, not at all. Doesn't belong to Let's Hate whatsoever. Do I love it? Yes, which makes me conflicted on why I didn't put it in Let's Love, but that's the beauty of it. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead, end the video here, play a little bit more of Dear Esther, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next installment of Let's Love, Let's Question, or Let's Hate. I have been Rock, and I'll